Oh, yeah. All right. Now I'm ready. All right. You here, Bubba? You here? All right. Now, welcome. This is FNN, Feminist News Network, the feminist news that's right for you. Welcome to Friday Live. Woo! Bubba wants to welcome you too. Hello, hello. Welcome to Friday Live. All right. So I'm a few minutes behind. I said I wasn't going to be on BP time, but I am. So, hey, that's how it is. All right. So those are my new glasses. Do you like them? Yeah. Cat view. Reminiscent of the old school, but not old school. All right. It's the new old school. Uh-huh. So I don't look like some of my great aunties in their high school pictures. All right. I don't like this, the way the camera is on me. Okay, you can go, Bubba. Um, I don't like that view. It shows my double chins. I don't like that. Oh, get off my peanut butter, Bubba. Okay, that's a little better. Now, what are we gonna do? You saw me blow out some 420 at the beginning. All right. You gotta get ready. You gotta get ready for Friday night, Friday afternoon, Hawaii time. Okay, so we're gonna start this off with or without anyone here. It does. Oh, let me make sure that looks good. All right, you know how we do. Um, but we're here. I don't know if Jigaboo is out there, but Jigaboo girl, I'll be looking for you to comment. All right. Um, we're gonna start. We got things to cover, and we're gonna be on for a whole hour, and we're gonna talk about immigration, the current elections. I got a rare disease story. Of course, I'm going to tell that job story. Wendy Williams is back from vacation. We're going to talk about her turning her show into, well, it is the Wendy Williams show, but she's turning into less gossip, more about me and my life show. Then we're going to go old movies versus new movies. All right, we're going to see what you're watching this weekend. And then we're going to finish it with our Lost MLK videos. All right, so let's get started. We're live. Bubba's wagging his tail. All right, so that lets you know. So let's talk about the immigration situation. There are raids predicted to go on and told by Bush and ICE officials where they're looking to round up more than 2,000 and those other immigrants as collateral damage to round them up for deportation. Now, these are people that the person in the White House says they got papers on that were already set to be deported. But now, if these are people that are waiting trials and information to be returned, we know that the once immigration office that were helping people is now the deterrent immigration office that is not trying to help people or file information for people or do anything in any such timely manner. So they're not out to help the people, but deter the people, keep the people from doing what they need to be doing, which is trying to become citizens, you know. And the bad thing about it is that these cities don't know, don't have a list of where they're going to go or what they're going to do. There's 10 major cities that are out there that are set up to expect this. One of them being New Orleans, which they um, they put off because of the Hurricane Barry that's coming. And you know, Houston, Chicago, San Francisco, LA, New York, Miami, Dallas, and they're going to also hit Nashville, Memphis, and uh, Atlanta, you know. And these are just 10 cities. They're also going to hit Honolulu. They're also going to hit Dallas. They're going to be in Vegas. So don't think that this is just going to be isolated to these 10 cities. They're going across America. Why? Because there's an ICE office across America in every freaking state, and they round up and they go to every freaking city. Now, if they can pop open these Geo and Pacific group prisons as quick as they can round up these ICE agents, what gets me is, if you got this type of job, if you this type of person, if this is how you want to earn a living, what kind of person are you? And let's go there right now and talk about that. We need to be questioning the moral center of the individual that chooses to have a job that's all about hate, wanting to be a part of the genocide and concentration camps. As can I say it? Am I allowed to say that these ICE agents are like your modern day soldiers against hate, against, well, for hate and against love? Let me correct myself. Don't take me wrong on that. And my understanding is that, we don't have enough people that are really taking charge and getting angry enough to create change for this. And that's real ugly, because we got these people that are just prideful to have these jobs. They're molesting these kids, taking advantage of the women, and they're in these for-profit detention centers. And it seems like to me that AOC is getting laughed at. Underwood is being banned from speaking. And when they talk, Castro got pictures of how they were in there sitting down, and pictures weren't allowed, but Castro were like, "You're not going to take my phone." They tried to take his phone. "You're not going to take my phone." And he released those pictures. I wish I had live streaming software so I could pop up the graphics, because I'm all about the graphics in my videos, because I got pictures of Castro's pictures showing those women in there with AOC and Presley and them. And it's horrible. It's horrible what's going on. And if Pelosi wanted to, she can create and make a move for the Dems that would lead the Republicans into forcing on a direct action, a direct bill, a congressional action to stop these prisons. Nobody's trying to do that. AOC is having the hearing, but has AOC wrote that bill? Is she getting support for this bill? Or is anybody holding these, because there's a Latina caucus that is out there that has brought on measures, and Pelosi has gone against those measures to lessen the funding of ICE, because ICE is part of DHS, Department of Homeland Security. It changed its name. It used to be called what was it used to be called before it was Homeland Security? The Department of Immigration. And but they all joined in because DHS covers the ports, not just the borders, and it deals with entries and passports, and it's a wide range of DHS, and there are Latinas on that DHS caucus and committee, and it was a woman out of California that was on Democracy Now! The other day. Cute as a Latina Barbie doll she was. Bergen. And she was, and one of the only two females on the congressional DC softball team. All right. She's cute and sporty. Like them like that. All right. Now, we have her talking about how they're going against the policies they're trying to put forward to stop it. You know, these people are only supposed to be detained for 72 hours. Are y'all realizing that? And they're keeping them for months and weeks. This is why the hearing that they had Wednesday had a mother that was talking about a child that was healthy and within 1 week got sick, caught a respiratory disease, and died. Now, how bad are these facilities where they're nothing but little death traps dying in a week? Now, they got live bacteria, and it's getting warmer in Hawaii. The average, I'm jumping subject, but the average weather used to be in Hawaii 85 degrees all year round. Now it's summer and it's 90 constantly. Nobody's talking about climate change or nothing. But they got these little microbes in the water over here. And they try to not have it on the news, and not because dig this. They got microbes in this water and it's getting warmer. And it's got flesh eating and live bacteria, and they're not telling tourists or nobody in it. They're putting their babies and everything in there. And the environmental department tried to shut down Waikiki Beach back during the early part of the spring when it first started getting too warm, back when it should have been 80, 82 degrees, but it was 87 back in February. Getting too warm then. And they tried to shut down all of Moana Beach and Waikiki Beach. You know that the city council and the mayor told them to go against the environmental people and leave that beach open? This is our government, people. This is how bad they rather make dollars for their corporate people than to think of the people. Ugliness. And this is how this immigration situation is being treated too. This is why these people are dying. There are diseases that being spread and allowed to be spread around in these detention centers, but then they do not follow through on helping and taking care of the people. They're just making profit. They're not keeping their promise to take care of the people. It's wrong. It's bad. It's wrong. It's wrong. And it shouldn't be allowed to go on. And just like Hong Kong, that stopped the extradition of prisoners from Hong Kong to China, mainland China. They were allowed to stop it. It was almost costing their prime minister her career, and she put a stop to it right away. Why? Because she felt them at her doorstep, ready to knock. Trump doesn't fear you. He's causing fear. Trump don't feel the footprints at his door and the knock ready to come. Y'all ain't knocking it. All you agreeing with. And people that are out there agreeing with them, especially people of color, should be ashamed of themselves,
because you are a part of the problem he is trying to solve. And you should know that people of color are not the problem, but we are the solution and the answer. And they need to be recognized and given reparations so we can continue to build the economy and make it a stronger economy instead of creating a new civil war between the haves and the have-nots, where the haves are telling us to lay down and take it while we take it away from you while you make it, and we're saying enough. And if you ain't had enough of being treated by that funky stuff, you should. I know that's right. Now, we're going to move on to the election because, you know, you can talk about this immigration thing all day long, but until they start filibustering, putting on their depends, talking about this immigration situation, and bringing child after mother after child's picture on there until the Congress and the White House can't stand no more, we got an issue on our hands. And the fear is for AOC and Presley and Elon Omar and Tashi Rashid. The fabulous four need to get their depends on and start filibustering until it brings those detention, those concentration camps closed permanently. You know, they should be a joyful, nice place to welcome them into the country, not a deterrent to kill and administer harm to others and allowed to be a haven for molesters and abusers to abuse estranged women and men and children. Because that's what it's turning into. And you know, I said that. Okay, so let's move on to election news. All right. It seems like a couple of them have dropped out. The number is still big for the Dem party because a couple of more have joined in. A couple of more governors out there, a couple of more white men have joined it. And the number is still at 24. Chelsea is still trying to get her money to come out with her money enough for the next debate. So if you haven't gave her $1 or 50 cents, because it's just individual donations that is needed, I think she needs like another 36,000 individual donations to make it to this next round. I see Jamal Thomas is trying to get another progressive out there to the next debate and get him some backing. It's another white male, so no. And Andrew Yang has, the businessman has made it to the next debate. Yeah, I didn't do a story on that because all the indies were talking about it, except Jimmy Dore, who seems to be selective about what he's talking about. Now, in regards to politics, let's talk Tucker Carlson. He was trying to put hate out on Elon Omar to the point to where he was inciting violence on her. Well, the way I see it, the way I feel about it, and it's kind of bad and ugly. So she tweeted out that the advertisers should back away from him for doing this. Now we'll see if this happens, which lets you know the racism of the commercial backers of this show, all you got to do is watch the commercials to know who's backing the show. Now, you know they're racist, okay? First off, if they're doing any advertising on Fox, I'll just call them racist to begin with. You see what I'm saying? That's the way I see it. And it's just bad. It's just bad. And all this hate toward Elon Omar, you know, there has not been a senator shot since the Texas senator that went to visit Jonestown, 74. Or was it 76? I forget which year. It was the 70s. If you know which year that was, go ahead and put it in the chat and let me know. Or leave it in a comment below. But yeah, there hasn't been a senator shot since Jonestown incident when he came to visit, and they shot him right at the airstrip trying to leave. So, and they wouldn't let him leave. This is ugliness because there's a dozen of these fascist crazy people that are out to incite harm, to do wrong, and to prove that they're going to make themselves famous by being the one. You know, for what? For a cause that puts you in the history book of hate. You know, what 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 is good about that? You know, the moral depravity of America has been going downhill ever since we had the Trail of Tears. You know, so the thing is, it's an illusion. Now I'm ready to go there. It's and listen to me say this because we're 22 minutes in. Before I even said something as profound as this. So let me take a step. I'm sorry, I got it backwards. Let me correct there. Mm, yeah, okay. So, let me say this. It is an illusion to think that America is this beautiful, righteous country. It has always been about white male dominance and control as written by them in the Constitution to, and these were people that were lawyers of their time, not just businessmen and officials, but lawyers and British law. And they wrote this in the way of the British law. And they made it vague enough so they can dance their rich asses around to allow them to be what they are, like corporations that get to be human. They are not human. They shouldn't have the rights of human. Why? Because they get to profit longer than people get to live. You know, and if people only live to a certain age and a certain mortality rate, they corporations should only live so long. Also, I'm just saying that's the only true way capitalism will spur any kind of fair, just growth of the economy is by allowing incoming new corporations and incoming new businesses flourish and grow and take over and make new to help and let service be a thing, not like like YouTube, you know, owned by Google, owned by Jeff Greasy Bezos. You know, I wish YouTube wouldn't had sold out like that, you know, a long time ago. I lost a whole lot of videos when they changed to Gmail and I didn't want to use a Gmail account to do my videos, and they gave me 30 days, and I'd be damn, all my videos left. Couldn't get them back. And all those hits, all those subscribers, couldn't get them back. And because I was on there at the beginning, honey, when your camera would only do video that was 10 pixels, you know. Excuse me. And hold on, you're wrapped around the cord. Okay. Now, this isn't good for any of us. This isn't good for society. And America has never, they've only gave the illusion of greatness, only gave the illusion of the American dream. The American dream has never existed for anybody outside of that period of post-war during the 50s, when they were giving white Americans, just like right after Reconstruction, where they were giving Americans land, money, jobs. They have never gave people of color land, money, or jobs. Did I just break that down real simple? Does it take somebody a whole lot of time to explain that to you? No. I'm explaining it to you. Land, money, jobs. White folks been given it. They have it. They pass it down. And people of color can't get it. They're not given it. They're not allowed it. And if they have it, they're overtaxed from it. They try to forfeiture and take it from you. Governor Ige over here, this little low talking little jerk, he just vetoed a forfeiture bill that would have stopped the police from grabbing your shit without a felony charge. But no, he feels it's right to grab your shit even without a charge. And the police, just like Chicago, just like LA, just like New York, just like everywhere else that's doing these forfeiture laws, and I know you saw it on Jon Stewart as just being little pimps and thieves, like a little gang, and with the right of the governor, it's being allowed to rob and steal from its citizenry for any reason, any cause that they deem fit. That's wrong. They can run up on me now. You got this, you got that. How can you prove it? Well, we're going to take it and then lock you up, and it'll be gone. And by the time you get out, you can prove that you didn't prove that we proved what we didn't prove at all. Anything happens to me now, it's because somebody was watching this get mad. Because that's what's really happening out there. They're literally robbing the citizenry for their own takings. They're for their own goods. Because all that shit don't end up in the what they call it, the evidence room. All that shit don't end up being auctioned off. Somebody's house is looking good. Somebody just got a new remodel, and it ain't us. Mm-hmm. Just had a police officer here in Hawaii shoot a homeless boy for being drunk at the state capitol. Shot him 12 inches from the back of his head with no cameras around. Like he didn't know that. And you think they want to release that drug report on that cop? Did they really take that drug test? Because they're not releasing the findings of that drug test. You know, he was probably high on steroids and everything else. Because why would you shoot a boy in the back of his head execution style? Execution style. That's how they're doing it here in Hawaii. They're getting ugly. You thought New York and Chicago was bad. Execution style. And this boy had polio. couldn't walk, but he said he lunged at him. Now, his story is so whack and wrong until they had to move this proceedings on to another island and take it away from the Honolulu County to Maui to be investigated, because the evidence is in everybody's face and it's stinking. You had an officer that flat out executed a polio victim with 2 broken legs and then tried to say he was lunging out. Now, the second he said that, the second he decided to stick with that story, and then the second that the stepfather and the mother came out and said, hold on, wait a minute, he can't walk. How can somebody lunge at you that can't walk, that has trouble walking? They literally only can walk 5 steps at a time. How can a person like that, even drunk, lunge at you? What they can do is crawl at you, but not lunge at you. And to shoot them and to say you shot him in the front and come to find out that the autopsy report said you shot him in the back of the head. Now, let me take a psychic look into this drug report of this police officer. Now, cut it out, bub. Now, I say that boy, like a lot of them in the police force around here, was high, because they're not drug tested for their jobs, let me say that. They were high and on steroids. A lot of them on steroids. And those roided out people are just trigger happy and trigger ready. And a lot of these cops across America, mainland and here, it's an in thing to be on those roids. See, it got Bubba barking. I know that's right. Bubba, cut it out now. Don't let all those dogs rev you up like that. Now, let's go on to my next rare disease story. And the rare disease story is finishing my tale in regards to having Hawaii's biggest kidney stone removed from a female in Hawaii history. Now, a kidney stone would go through their urethra tube in their penile area, and that can be seriously painful. And they have to have them surgically removed all the time. And with a woman, mine was so big until it busted a hole through my urethra tube. Now, I thought with the follow-up surgery, because I was given a stent after the operation, which was a sound wave procedure, lipo something. And to break it up, to break it down, and then when it came out, I showed you a picture, it looked like a long turd, but it was big, green, and pussy at first, and it was busting through my urethra tube. It broke a hole in it, and it came out, and they kept it, and they are not giving it back. Come to find out, I was at a state hospital, and state hospitals are teaching hospitals, and they say that I signed them permission to keep it. And they did keep it. They gave me a picture of mine, but they kept it, which is horrible, you know. Oh, hair is in my ear, tickling me. Okay, so I don't know what to think about that, because it's not like NIH. I didn't sign anything like a Henrietta Lacks form where I get to have what I had kept with me. You know, I don't get to keep my thing. But when they put in the stent and they removed the stent in 10 days, it was supposed to be in a week, but it was a week and a half. And
The doctor was angry because I was giving oxycodone without Tylenol. So, because every prescription that surgeon prescribed to me prescribed the generic, because it's my understanding. See, these doctors tell you some bullshit lies, like this doctor Chen. He told me bullshit lie that we're being watched and followed, and we can't prescribe you too many pain pills. Bullshit. They can not only prescribe you pain pills, they can just prescribe you the name brand. And it's them that prescribes the generics, telling you, oh, that's how the pharmacy does. Because the state law is to give you a generic unless specifically told to give you the name brand. Ugly. Ugly, these people. And then gonna talk to us like we're fools and don't know the law and don't know how things are really ran and how they go. And I told you, I was upset because every time I went through a procedure, because it was an outpatient procedure to remove the stent, and while I was lying up in there, because they had put me under anesthesia, and they weren't answering all my questions that I had, and I was upset because he was misprescribing me medication again, and it was a different this from that, from this, and he didn't want to give me, so I was like, put him on the phone. She's like, because the nurse offered to call him. So she's talking to him saying, I got her, you can talk to her, you can talk to her. Puts him on the phone. And then I start hearing him talking about me, as if he was talking to the nurse, saying that I was a bitch that caused a bunch of trouble and I complained too much and all I'm going to do is complain. And I heard enough. I heard enough when he said, all I'm going to do is complain. I didn't want to hear no more. I didn't want to let him go on talking and then realize no, I interrupted. I said, hello, you realize I hear you, right? You're a shit and you need to be reported as a shit. And I've reported him and I've reported everything. And the complaint department in the hospital is a self monitoring thing. It doesn't help the people. It's you turn in a complaint so they can figure out how to squelch your complaint. See, you got to go beyond the hospital complaint department, because they every time I go down there, they try to placate me and tell me that they mailed me something, they followed up on something. They ain't followed up on shit. They wish I would just go away and disappear. But honey, I'm heading to the American Association of Hospitals, Medical Association. I got to go national on their ass to file a complaint, because statewide, they're just self-monitoring, squelching people's complaints. So one can only imagine how many complaints they actually get that they're not following up on, and that the state refuses to follow up on, because they, even though Hawaii is ranked 50th in the nation for medical care, hospital care, as if we're this close from being a third world country, because these doctors these doctors rather be down here. And like the doctor's office I go to, nameless right now, he's a no good damn doctor. He's a doctor run. He's never there. He comes in once a week, and he wasn't doing that. It surprises me that he says he even comes in once a week now. He must have got found out and ready to get turned in, because that nigga wasn't showing up to work at all.
He was hiring a bunch of PAs to run the office. There ain't. He's got nurses and physician assistants handing out prescriptions. RNs that can write prescriptions while he's just collecting money. And people are getting misdiagnosed, mistreated, and they're just going by their insurance. Well, we'll refer you to whatever your insurance can handle. We can't give you an MRI because we didn't get the approval for that. So we'll give you an X-ray instead. Let's do your blood pressure. We can charge you for that. We'll write you a prescription. Let's see if your insurance will give it to you because your deductible might be too high. Now, Medicaid for All will solve all these problems, all these issues, and all this corruption. And it's that led to me having a bad doctor, bad experience in regards to a rare procedure done for Hawaii's largest kidney stone removed by a female. They could have killed me. They could have chose to do that. Surprised that I'm still here. That's all I got to say. Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe because they kept the stone and they wanted to use it as a teaching tool. It'd be really bad to say a patient died from this procedure. They want to make themselves look good, and part of that is me living. Too bad it wasn't a procedure. They're probably thinking, too bad it wasn't the type of procedure that would have gave her that 50-50 chance because we could have ended it. Mm-hmm. Believe me, I've had procedures where they told me that, and I feared that they would allow it to go the wrong way. Mm-hmm. Now, let's got hair in my ears. It's a little okay. So let's go on. Wendy Williams is back. Wendy Williams is back. All right. So what's the word on Wendy Williams? What do we want to say about Wendy Williams? Can she stop talking about herself and who she hung out with, who called, the celebrities on the phone? Can you give us the gossip like you used to, Wendy? We know you're in a new you, boo. We know you living well. Smile, bitch, But can you grin after you tell your news, gossip, and do your show? Because the Wendy Williams show has turned into all about Wendy, for Wendy. Let's make money with Wendy, by Wendy, for Wendy. And she's going to start a comedy tour. I never saw nothing that funny about her making fun of people, but, Def Comedy Jam was built upon that. So, apparently some people are into that kind of comedy. Well, I call it assault comedy, where they assault everybody, and you better not say nothing about them. You see what I'm saying? You better not say nothing about them, but they're going to talk about you for sure. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how successful that goes for Wendy. We wish Wendy well. But Wendy, can you do your show and talk less about bullshit? Okay, we're going to end this. Bye. All right. Stop barking, Bubba. Bubba heard somebody and then wanted to start barking because I got the balcony open. So I wanted to pause that for a little bit to get him to stop. But we're going to end this in a little bit. But let's talk about old movies versus new movies. Yeah, we had enough about Wendy. Yeah, you can see the show for yourself and see that she's gotten a little self-absorbed. But
remember, you can always subscribe, hit Feminist News Network subscribe button. I would appreciate that. Thanks for the one like that's out there. And I don't know if the chat is working or not, but chat away if you want. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. Yes, I'm ADOS, if you were wondering. Yes, I do have a ADOS mom and grandmom. Yes, all right. I was raised by Miss Lois Richburg. Yeah. Okay. So, any other questions you may have, give them to me. I'll take them, baby. I'll take it on. Now, old movies versus new movies. Now, there's some old movies that are going out of print that they need to do remake of. I don't want to see another damn superhero movie. I don't care if I see another superhero movie, blockbuster, big ass movie in a while. You know, I don't need another Medea with cross dressing characters that are reminiscent of nothing more than a clump. Hello, I don't need to see that for a while. Medea's gone. Well, good, you know, because I don't want to see another Alex Cross movie. Now, what do I want to see? What is really going on in regards to old movies? The old movies that are going out of print. Are we aware of this? Did you know there's a lot of black movies and black directors that have changed their ways, that are no longer in the industries, that are allowing these movies to not be distributed or go out anymore? I bought one of the very last ones, and oh shoots, I should have brought the DVD in here, but I bought one of the last few that was out there by Barnes and Noble. Had it sent in from the mainland of the movie Sprung. You remember that movie Sprung with Tisha Campbell? Now, that had good music, you know, from Rolls Royce. I'm just thinking of the song, you know. I'm not going to hit that high pitch note for it. I sing A flat D minor. I ain't even going to embarrass myself. But, you know, they had that one dance number where da 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 da, you know, and they had that girl that's in Hustle and Flow and all your great movies. Ended up seeing her on Soul Man playing a lesbian, you know, but I forget her name. Damn it! I wish I should have brought the you know what? I was looking for that video because I know I boxed it up somewhere in my last move, and I just can't seem to find it. And I had other ones that I didn't want to show them. But yeah, that movie, The Last Dragon, those, even though Barry Gordy owned that, um, Vanity, Debbie, she removed she brought all the rights to everything she's done, and she's removed all her music, like they're removing, some artists are removing their movies, and so you can't get that movie no more if she's in it. You can't find it. You're going to have to get an old one, or so get all the old copies of Sprung in them. And there's a lot more movies that are out there that they're taking away. Now, I don't know if some of this is industry driven, which may be the case, or if it's the artists themselves, like Debbie, that wanted to remove that. Um, but you can't buy Sprung online. If you notice on Amazon, all your Sprungs is used now. I looked it up just yesterday. There's no more new ones to be found. So that's kind of bad, you know, because that's a decent and a good movie. And you can't get it on Netflix. You can't watch it on YouTube. They're not going to show it to you. If they are, it just
it just started, it like yesterday, because it's not out there. They're not going to let you have it. So they need to do a remake of these good movies. They doing remakes of Girl Gotta Have It. Why not Sprung? That had a good, couples can work it out type moral to the story there. Don't let haters hate. The haters end up being the ones that loved each other at the end of that movie. And movies like The Last Dragon, where a young boy falls in love and protects the damsel in distress who, was a singer. That to redo those in a hip hop style. I like the new movie Beats that Anthony did. That's on Netflix. We gotta still remember that he was exonerated of a gang rape charge. You think I wasn't gonna mention that about him? I think of it every time I see it. Which makes me not be that thrilled about anything he does, but I will give him props for this. The past is the past, and I'll let that be for that black man. But I can't. I gotta say, I can't help but think of it. That doesn't mean that I'm not gonna watch his shows or say good job. You moving forward. Um, what I would like him, what I would like to see is him do a show where the woman doesn't get shot in the head. Maybe the woman is the protagonist and the one that wins out in the end, instead of the one that loses, like the mother did in this situation until the very end, where her son becomes famous, but she still loses because the son uh, moves on and and creates his own life a little more quickly at a younger age, and the mother is kind of left behind in the story and was ignored by the guy that pursuantly went after the young boy, ignoring the mother. So there's a little dynamic in that shows something in his work. So you know, we need good remakes. We need good new black girlfriend movies. There's not enough of them out there. I don't want to see another one with Tiffany Haddish. I like to see a lot of the new girls that are out there. I did like uh, Taraji P. Henson, but she's overexposed at this point, being Cookie, and you expect Cookie in a lot of roles that she does. So I like to see some new girls and some new older women too. You don't get enough of that in Hollywood. Every break shouldn't be for the young ones. The older ones need a break too. There's that Ebony model that became famous as a silver-headed model when she became a senior, even though she was not a model all her life, but then became an Ebony, you know, top model, and went on to modeling in New York and doing other things. I forget her name, but she had the little silver gray TWA and all the Ebony Jet magazines. I think you remember her. And I'm not talking about like the 80s. I mean the 90s and the 2000s. You know who I'm talking about. Okay, so let me finish off telling you about, let's move on. Me finish telling you about this little part-time job. I was going to tell you some information like about that before we ended. Yeah, it was kind of ugly. I was top sales, doing what I do best, which is to sell. That's why I didn't, I semi-retired by moving to Big Island. I was a Leilani victim. I was 3 houses, sorry, from Fisher 10, and came back to Oahu. I had started Feminist News Network in March. The volcano hit in May. I moved back in July. I've been back for over a year now, since July 3rd. And I've been doing the job I do. My main job, I own my own business, and I decided to pick up a part-time job to get extra money. I would appreciate donations for this one woman team. That's PayPal me, Feminist News Network, and the money would be used toward getting maybe some encoding live streaming software, maybe get some better webcams and things to make FNN a better viewing success. Most definitely for that. So I took on a part-time job so I can maybe try to accomplish some of those things. Um, I don't expect donations, so I went out there and got a sales job. I didn't want an office job or anything like that because I have a pet and I only wanted to put in about 20, 25 hours a week, probably not that. So this job was only going to give me 2, 3 days a week, which was fine with me. And they realized I could sell and wanted to give me more days, which was fine with me because I wanted to put in the time. It was near the holidays. I enjoyed where I worked and hanging around tourists. This is Hawaii. This is tourist capital. And I enjoyed the sell. I sold like high-end $100 skirts and dresses and things where they said the dresses had Swarovski crystals on them and were silk and this and that. And it was a resort, so high end. Yeah, you don't want to buy it, you don't like it. Walmart got $4 tourist tees, only get them. But I'm selling this silk, all right, twirling and looking cute, wearing my loud red lipstick. Excuse me, wearing my loud red lipstick and stuff. And the girl that hired me left. She went to get more fabrics for the skirts or whatever she does. She went back home. So I was like trying to get along with the replacement manager. We each had our own store. We opened it and closed it, and I treated it like I was my own manager. So nobody was bothering me. Everybody left me alone, which allowed me to do my sales, not yell, be cute, and do well. This micromanaging bitch wanted to retell me everything that's already been told that I already know. And she had to demand that I give her full attention because she wanted to ignore the fact that I had told her that, yes, I have already been told this. I already know this. Thank you for telling me. Because the other girl was like, "You're beautiful, Skye. I'm going to leave you alone. You do what you do, boo." And this micromanaging bitch kept telling me, "You got to listen to me. You got to do what I tell you to do." And when she did, I was like, you know what? I don't want to get into it. I feel like I'm being disrespected. I didn't want to cuss her out. I didn't want to yell. Look, selling became, oh, got to stop. We're ready to quit. It's 1 minute away, but I'm going to give you 5 more minutes after this. So what I did was I didn't want to be hammered down. My sales went under because I was being stressed out by this woman. A job is only a good job as long as it's fun and you enjoy what you do. And she made it where I couldn't enjoy what I was doing anymore. So I had to go. And they were pressuring me to be loyal and to stay and to put up with her mean ways. And I just didn't see that as being an option for me. I saw myself as setting myself free from for tyranny. And I did, basically, you know. And I want to thank all the people that popped in and popped out. The last one I'm going to talk about is MLK Lost Videos on MSNBC. The most I will to tell you about this is for you guys to check out this full-fledged video on MSNBC. And if you can't find it, what I've been thinking about doing is just going ahead and doing it and putting it out there until because I got such low subscribers, I can get away with a lot of stuff that Jimmy Dore and Jamal and all them came to. And for some strange reason, with my copyright and my music, I've been given the rights to all my stuff. Like, yeah, so with Bubba's promo video, that is Jimmy Durante and a guy named he is Italian guy, Vino. Thank you, Vino. He gave me the rights to use it. Yeah. And stand by me, you stand alone. That in my UFO video. Yeah, they gave me the rights to use that. How great is that? They probably loved having Democracy Now playing their music to that video. Yeah, and showing the UFO going. That is crazy. You should see that. And they gave me the rights to it. Thank you, UK. I like you guys. Thank you for giving me the right. And so I'm going to try to get away with it again. You know, I don't know if MSNBC wants to take it away from me, but I'm thinking with this Lost video and other things, just to go and re-show it in its entirety to allow you guys to see it and be able to check it out, because sometimes I'm noticing this, it's hard to find Feminist News Network if you Google me, because what I've done is I can find myself easy if I check it out on my own computer. But what I've done is gotten on other people's cell phones, other people's computers, and try to seek out Feminist News Network by Googling it or looking on it for YouTube. And you get Gloria Steinem to pop up. You get everything except the actual Feminist News Network to pop up. So we need to do something about that, people. So I'm going to put out this video because more than likely this MLK Lost video will probably be lost on YouTube and hard to find. So I'm going to give it a platform in which y'all can watch it and let it flourish and maybe share and show others. Because this last interview before his murder and death was very profound, and how he mentioned that how he mentioned his dream has turned into a nightmare, recognizing that you need more than counter sit-ins, and how the white establishment had took advantage of segregation in an economic stance without giving full reparations and full acknowledgement and full fair treatment. And that's how they co-opted the gay pride parade. You know, that's why the march was so big this year, because they wanted to say it's our parade, or mean the gay people, their parade, and not a corporate parade. And they were taking it back, co-opting it back away from all this taking advantage of the gay dollar. So I'm going to do the same thing with this MLK video until they catch me and take it off. And I don't have enough subscribers to be demonetized, and I don't have enough subscribers for them to notice me on the radar. So I'm going to put out this full MLK video and for everybody to see, because I feel like, you know, he said some really strong stuff in regards to saying that his dream has become a nightmare, about the war profiting and militarization of the wars, which is relevant to what's going on now. So I'm going to post that and put that up for Saturday viewing. So you can eat on that and snack on that and watch that over the weekend, because MSNBC will probably make it hard for you to find. And since they don't demonetize and cut off my videos yet, I'm going to put it out there until they do. So we're going to put out that Lost MLK video for you tomorrow. So that's my whole list. I told you everything. Thanks for watching. Jiggerboo, if you're out there, thanks for checking in with me, girl. And I appreciate y'all checking me out. So thanks for watching. Thanks for joining. Remember to subscribe and tell your friends about Feminist News Network. That feminist news that's right for you. All right. So peace. All right. Thanks. Oh, catch the next video and watch. Read my rant of the day on blog. Those are really good. My last one, corporations are killing us, seniors, um, all of them are good. Check them out. All right. And check out my new YouTube channel, Leveling Up the Leftovers. I'm doing healthy cooking. I'm working on a new dessert video. So check that out. It'll be coming this weekend. All right. Thanks for watching. Peace.